Right, boys. Welcome to the Talk Fort podcast, episode number four, five,
Hello.
Vino, 4 or 5, chat. I think we're on 4. We're possibly on 5. Today's podcast, we have DestinysJesus, one of the best coaches or ex-best coaches back in the day during the World Cup era.
Cheers, mate.
Introduce yourself.
I'm DestinysJesus. Been coaching for 3, maybe 4 years now. Bit of a long time. Used to be decent at the game. Still got more earnings than Archie, of course. Yeah, on Fortnite track, I'm pretty sure I do.
How much you got?
4.9 or something.
Well, whatever. Potato, potato.
You've got the Pizza Hut cups, but
Yeah.
I've got the FNCS, you know. Used to be decent at the game back in 2019. Then what's it called?
Injured.
And I started coaching. Yeah, my wrist was quite bad. My right wrist was really, really bad. And then I stopped and started coaching. First person I coached was Benji Fishy for the World Cup. And then I coached a load of people for World Cup, like prep work, all that sort of stuff. And then I went and...
Hold on one sec. What was it like coaching Benji?
Pretty good. I love Benji. Like, Benji is just like the nicest bloke who ever met, by far.
How many followers did he have before World Cup?
It was after he won like a Lux Cup or something like that with Savage, and he was sort of well known. And it was just after he qualified for solos, like just after the qual weeks were done, and he was like the first person I did like a big announcement and stuff about it. And it was quite interesting. But Benji's just so nice. Like he's literally like the perfect person you can coach, like the opposite of Vino. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
In terms of personality.
Okay, so coming on to this season of we got FNCS coming up. What are your thoughts on the meta that we've got currently?
I actually like it, you know, like especially now with the blue katanas, like pretty much everyone can get a double katana as long as you run around getting key chests and stuff like that as well. The mythics are all right. It's good for arena, stuff like that. The only issue I have is like just the heal offs and the final zones. But now they've changed the zones so they go further, and it's not too bad. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, but the thing is, no one really knows. Like, we haven't actually. I mean, I haven't played a stacked game yet. They changed it one day before
I did a video this morning on it from like customs last night, and it's not bad. Like there's like maybe 8 people in the final closing zone, so it's less than before, and the final zone goes further as well. So that was like as stacked as it could be.
So is there still heal off potential or not?
Yeah, but it's not going to be as common, and like, there'll be games that end before heal off, but in like a really stacked game because the zones go further, people will now have to use their mats more, which isn't too bad.
So should I tomorrow in FNCS, should I be preparing each game for heal off?
Yeah, and also especially final moving, now it's like viable to run back early and play heal off early. You know
why? Because people run out of mats.
Yeah, because people run out of mats and then die. But if you play your heal off early,
of course,
then you can go ahead and get more placement. You can get like a top 5 just from playing heal off like 30 seconds before.
Yeah, so it could still be worth it playing heal off and just having as much juice as possible. When you run out of mats, you run back and start juicing.
Yeah, you just get a pizza cracking, get Domino's down, and then get a top 5.
Yeah. Why is it taking Epic so long to change it? You know, it's been 2 weeks. I'm pretty sure the pros have been complaining for weeks.
The issue they have is like, let's say they launch a new season and there's only customs going, right? They don't want to base what happens on customs, you know?
Do you think
they don't want to base a new update based on customs? I think it should be that way, because surely customs is what, especially for comp, that's what the FNCS looks like most of the time. But they don't want to like have a change based on a stacked custom that's quite unrealistic. There's almost zone rules, you know? So they wait for tournaments to happen. And then, of course, as a big company, there's a long delay from when a first tournament happens. And they realize, oh, this is pretty pants. Let's fix it, you know?
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty frustrating as a player, right? You can see Juriki's tweet. Did you see Juriki's tweet yesterday? So, yeah, Juriki tweeted, let me just fetch the tweet real quick. He tweeted saying, We are playing F. So obviously the final
He
update
leaked
before
it, yeah.
FNCS, came out, and he said, and nothing had changed. He said, "We're playing FNCS in this matter. Yo, at Hogman, the man in charge of comp. No worries for completely spreading false info in the comp Discord, though. Not gonna say what was said, but sick baked broski."
Yeah.
So for those who don't
I'm
know,
not in the comp Discord, by the way.
yeah, neither is
Just showing on
Jerky.
my
So
room.
the stuff in the comp Discord is full NDA. You're not allowed to, you're not allowed to leak it.
Yeah. I don't think it's actually full NDA, by the way, because
Is it
it just
not?
gets always. I don't think they make you sign anything, but they post like an update saying, "Oh, guys, we're planning on doing this," and then someone will tell their friend, and their friend will tell somebody else. It's not like a
Yeah.
strict NDA type thing. I did get invited to the comp Discord like 4 times, but every single time they invite me, uh, they mess up the invite link. I'm not joking, by the way.
Really? Really?
They send me an email, and the email just doesn't exist. Like, so I just can't join. I've asked like 5 times to join, and then
Yeah.
you just don't get me in. It's a bit peak.
Do you remember when the comp Discord first came in and everyone really celebrated it, and then it's pretty much changed
Yeah,
nothing? I mean, we
that
have,
was back um, just after squads, I think.
yeah. I mean, we still have
Like literally,
issues every single week. We had issues with the hammering, full time.
yeah. I went back and I watched. It was a YouTube video. I was like, what I learned from each FNCS. I just recorded it today and yesterday, and like going back and watching, even though the metas weren't the best, like the game was still better. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like squads,
Yeah.
you can say whatever you want about squads, but the game was still
Yeah.
better, I would say.
Dude, yeah.
And then especially solos as well. We had
even
like mythic meta and
you
stuff
know,
like that.
mate, yeah, like even I watched when Vino won FNCS, and I like that now. Like it was so fun to watch.
Pad org.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, Pad org. It was so fun to watch and play. It's such a shame.
Yeah. That was good because that was just after we had Spider-Man meta, which was a bit
which was just shocking.
Spider-Man SMG meta. But that was also that season, the biggest issue of that season, I don't know if you remember, was the combat SMG. Like it was just so strong. Like you just run combat SMG and you do better than any other gun,
Yeah. Yeah, it's such a shame. I mean,
there's always issues with a certain map. I think the potential of this season is a lot higher than other potential or finished seasons in the past.
Yeah, but I don't know, mate. From a viewership perspective, like the what's the new thing added? The something gear? What is
ODM,
it?
yeah,
ODM gear.
Yeah.
Like I would love to speak to me. Like, why have you added this new item in 2 days before? You probably haven't bug tested it properly because loads of items broken. No one really understands how to use it. It's like I don't really know.
They did, ages ago. This was after we had an FNCS with like some horrible addition last second. Or remember that FNCS where they deleted Tilted like 10 minutes before?
Yeah.
Like it was after all of that issues, and everyone was bringing it like, how can they just change the game before FNCS? They literally did a tweet and a blog post saying, we're no longer going to change things before FNCS. We're going to have like a pre-season. That's the whole point of the pre-season, right? Why it was in to begin with, so they could fix issues. And they ended up just doing pre-season, not changing anything, and then just playing the tournaments and FNCS, whatever, with whatever matter. And it really just depends on like what actually is the meta, whether that works or not. Like I think with the Aquaveno FNCS win with pad meta, that was good, but then also can lead to having like 80 charge Spider-Mans and then nerfing it down to 20, but then it's still the most broken thing. Everyone needs a Spider-Man,
Yeah, absolutely.
Same with last season, Hammer meta, that was just awful.
It was awful to watch and play, wasn't it? What did you think about Vino's last season FNCS?
His fourth place?
Yeah.
I mean, I remember after day one, because the thing is, they won like 3 Elite Cups in a row, right? And they won an NA East Elite Cup as well before it. And I was like, okay, all you need to do is just stick to what you're doing for the whole season. I helped them a little bit with their off spawn, like making their timings a bit quicker. Because they were practicing disc and I was like watching them. And I helped them a tiny bit. And then during the actual tournament, they just completely swapped what they were doing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like they just went back on, like they wanted to start playing like not full standing height. And I was like, you just played basically FNCS because Elite Cups are pretty stacked most of the time. And you've won it 3 times in a row. Why would you even think about changing what you're doing?
Yeah, fair. Yeah.
And then they got, I don't know, they just get more people involved and stuff like that on helping them prep rather than just trusting what they know. And I think the worst thing you can do if you're a top level player is having like any form of self-doubt because it's just raps.
Yeah, because then the plan's not going to work. Yeah.
Yeah, you just commit to what you know.
Yeah, I think Vino gives that to me every single time we play. What do you think about Vino's? How do you think he's going to place in this mare in this season? What do you think about his drop spot?
I think he could win.
You think he could win? I
Maybe.
mean, you always think he could win, but like compared to last season, does he have a better chance of winning? I'd probably say probably right because he wasn't landing on hammers.
Yeah,
Now
last
he's
season
landing
he
on
had the
Pagano.
disadvantage where he wasn't landing on hammers, and because as well the issue with, let's say, when you win an elite cup or something like that, when you win a tournament just before the biggest tournament, it can't get better. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah,
You
yeah,
can't, because everyone learns your strats. They learn where you position for surge. They learn how to avoid that. They learn your timings. Like, you think all the teams that are landing near Vino, they know exactly what he does because
yeah,
he just won the tournament, right? If Veno went ahead and got like seventh in the tournament for FNCS, I would prefer that. If I was like, let's say, his full-time coach, I would prefer that he did before the FNCS because then he has mistakes to work on
yeah.
and things he can adjust. He goes into the tournament
He
knowing,
won EU
oh,
and NA, didn't he?
yeah, literally the day, like the
Yeah,
week before,
that's mad. Isn't it?
and it seems sick. Like, oh yeah, he's going to win FNCS, but he just didn't. You know.
Yeah,
And he also had that massive amount of self-doubt because of the game plan that worked a week before wasn't working on that particular day, but it
yeah,
would have worked day two. And I don't know. I remember I was talking to him and I was saying about Tifu back in the day, right?
yeah,
Way back in the day, back during like full skirmish time, World Cup time. Um, he would never ever blame himself for a mistake, and it might sound dumb, right? But when you're in a tournament, you should never ever say, "Oh, that was my bad. I'm milked,"
yeah,
And you do it a lot as well, Archie,
yeah.
where you go, you say, "Oh, it's my fault," and then you just start self doubting yourself, right? Mid tournament, it's literally the worst thing you can do.
What would you do instead?
Um, blame the game. As bad as it sounds, you go, "Oh, the game. I shouldn't have died there," because then you're putting your internal thing that could go wrong with yourself onto the game, which is external.
Right.
You shouldn't do it to an extent to where you go ahead and go, you never improve your mistakes and stuff like that. But mid tournament, or especially day two of a tournament overnight, you should never ever, change what you're doing or doubt what you're doing. You should just stick to what you know and stick to what works.
Right. Yeah.
And then after tournaments or after, let's say, FNCS week one, that's where you go, Rodu. That's where you go, fix the mistakes and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's a very interesting insight. This kind of ties into like mentality, and I know that you've worked a lot with pros and their mentality. With nerves, over excitement, over confidence.
What a good example for this.
Do you want to tell us a bit about it?
Right. Mongrel.
Yeah.
He had, I'm sure everyone knows Mongrel, right? Well, do you know Mongrel, if you don't know? He had literally the worst mentality when it came to Fortnite ever, I think. Like, the worst mentality. And he had so many issues with it. And I literally had to, I went down, I read this whole book on, poker, right? Like, elite level poker. And I, translated everything into Fortnite terms for him so he could improve from it. This is back when I was, coaching for FaZe and stuff. This is, sort of what I was saying at the time. And I, translate the whole book on poker and stuff like that, which might seem a bit random, right? Yeah. But it's by this guy who's really into mentality and psychology and stuff. And it really helped out his mentality. And then after that, he went and won a solo cash cup, really dominantly. I don't know if you remember that. Mm-hmm. And then he won FNCS a bit after. And this is also during the solo FNCSs when I first started doing it. He did really well in those solo FNCSs. I don't know if you remember.
Yeah.
He didn't win or anything, but he got top 20 twice.
Yeah.
Which was way above everyone's.
So yeah, okay. And going on to nerves and stuff, you've obviously done quite a lot of work on that, and you have a lot of advice to give on that.
Yeah. The main thing I'd say for nerves that everyone should do is having chewing gum. It's so stupid, but whenever you chew gum, it's the same reason why fat people are fat, pun intended on myself, is it calms you down, right? When somebody's properly stressed out, like Rabid, for example, or somebody in the past, like myself in the past, when you're stressed out, you go and eat and it calms you down, right? It's just like a psychoactive response whenever you're stressed. If you do that in a Fortnite tournament, chew gum during a Fortnite tournament, you're literally not able to feel any nerves. And it will reduce your anxiety levels by so much. It's actually so good. I recommend if every player at a LAN, just to have some chewing gum with you and then chew gum while you're playing. And it helps you focus as well. Chewing gum is really, and you get caffeine chewing gum as well now.
Yeah, I mean they hand them out at LAN all the time, didn't they? The old
Yeah,
the
you can get
stimmer
like
stuff.
respawn gun and stuff like that,
Yeah,
which is good.
yeah, respawn gun. Chat, if you do have any questions you want to ask DJ, obviously he's been in the scene for ages and he has ran into pretty much every
I
issue.
coach like every player, any player you can name, any player I've coached them. I genuinely, I've worked with
Yeah,
them in the
literally,
past.
yeah. So if you guys have any, any questions, you can just ping him in chat.
That's so rude to have. It's not rude. No, like it's just a thing. Like
Yeah. So coming on to this FNCS then, I think Vino's got a better chance to win than he did last FNCS. He's
you know
landed
why?
because he landed on katanas, unless he's
Yeah, of
contested.
course, but also he's adapted his playstyle from being dependent on high ground into mid ground. Like I
Yeah.
did a Rodrigo, and he now just plays mid ground really well. Like he just Veno as well. He's really good at tarping. Like he used to top for Taste and Reason. Um, his tarping fundamentals are really good, and but just Queasy can't play mid ground. Like Queasy's not a mid ground player. Even when Queasy like first popped up onto the scene ages ago, the first UFNCS, he was always a high ground full send player, exactly like Aqua. But now Veno is tarping, and then Queasy's playing mid ground, and then they're trying to take height in different ways, like later on, rather than full sending height, which of course can work, and it can lead to you winning loads of cups, and you won FNCS doing it. Um, but especially in this meta, like just playing second height and then trying to take height later, or just playing high layers and mid ground is much much better.
Mate, someone in chat has said, "Did you ever coach the pro Lucy?" Do you remember Lucy? Lucy, it was the controller
Lose,
player.
no.
Lose. You don't remember the controller player?
I know his name. I know who he is, but
I don't know. That is actually. I don't know why that guy's brought him up, but what a bloke. Coming on to the next thing I want to speak about is health and fitness in the Fortnite scene. Now I know that obviously you have been on your own health and fitness journey. What do you think about gaming on health? What do you think about these kids? Is there
gaming is the single worst thing you can do for your health, I think.
I mean, smoking.
I mean, yeah. I mean, when you're young, I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Even if, let's say you're 15 and you start smoking, right? It's not. It's obviously bad. I'm not encouraging children to start smoking, right? But if you sit there trying to go pro at a video game, you are not moving, you're not active, you're not doing anything, at all, and your diet is going to be awful. Unless you're one of those people who has a mum who cooks for them, and you get all your food given to you. Or the amount of pros you just end up ordering food, and not knowing how to cook and stuff is awful. Because I did the same thing when I was back in 2019. I was massive, right? I don't know if you remember. You didn't know me back then, but I was huge, boys. I was the max. You know what I mean? I was 147 kilos at my fattest, right? Which is whoppy. That is I don't know. That's 1.5 of you, isn't it, Arch?
Yeah. That
Pretty
is
big.
fat, mate.
And the only reason was because before I was doing powerlifting back when I was a teenager, and obviously powerlifting you eat a lot and you bulk and all sorts, But I was doing a lot of activity and I was going gym 5 or 6 times a week and working outside, going to school, going to uni, But then when you get into gaming and you're making money from gaming, you just forget about all that other stuff. You don't go to the gym, you don't go be active, you don't walk, And your eating habits, if they're not good to begin with, or you don't have somebody helping your eating habits, they just become awful. And it genuinely happens. If you think about bigger players, right, who have now lost weight, now they've stopped gaming. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or stopped gaming as much. But
I think
Benji,
not...
for example, as we brought up earlier, Mongrel as well, he did the exact same thing, just stopped playing games as much and started doing stuff outside, and he lost loads of weight. And I did the exact same. I lost 50 kilos or 55
do you think,
kilos.
Back when you were at your heaviest, do you think that you could have been influenced, there should have been more influence in the Fortnite scene to get people healthier, to teach people about health and fitness? Because I still think it's a big issue with kids just sitting 10 hours a day, 12 hours a day.
Yeah.
We need some leaders in the scene to encourage everyone to be healthier.
We do. I mean, I know there's some people like Sticks Fit and there's some gym focused people like yourself, who do it. But for the players that want to get better and they want to put 12 hours a day in, they don't understand why they should put an hour into being active and going gym and doing some weights and stuff. They don't understand why you should do that because they think, oh, that extra hour will be better off putting it into, doing box fights or something, doing realistics. They don't understand the time trade off.
Yeah.
And it is true. Like, if you want to become the best at this game, any player who's ever become the best at any point in time has no life to gain, 100%. Right?
Yeah. That's what it takes to.
It does take it. Like, because you have to outwork everybody who is playing the game as much as you, and you have to go above and beyond what they're doing. And to do that, in a lot of cases of esports, even other esports like CS:GO or Valorant or something like that, even Rocket League, something, you have most people end up sacrificing their health and their
at least some point in their career. I ask that question to everyone. Like, have you ever have you ever sacrificed your mental health or your physical health? And pretty much they all say yes.
All of them say
obviously with Andrea and Flores are now hitting the gym. I think they both have girlfriends and they're kind of doing some other stuff. But like, when that comes in, you start getting a girlfriend, and yourself, you end up getting outside more. It becomes kind of impossible to keep up when you when other things in your life start to take over, or
No, I don't know. I think it's very hard to be. I don't know if it's impossible, but like to have all these outside commitments, like going gym for an hour a day.
Yeah.
That's just a massive
when you could be sitting there grinding. You know what I mean? Like.
Yeah.
When you could be getting on your PC and grinding like Vino does. Do you know what I mean? Like Vino wakes up, he goes straight on his PC.
Doesn't eat breakfast, doesn't eat lunch, doesn't eat dinner, just sits there and grinds Fortnite all day, and that's a takeaway.
Yeah.
He weighs 40 kilos.
He doesn't go out, really. He doesn't go, he doesn't go to the gym, he doesn't go out, he doesn't do anything. And it's like, how are you meant to beat him? Like, you just can't, can you? You just cannot
outwork somebody who's doing that. And that's what I've trying to get into it, where I do more educational stuff with I did want to launch it fairly recently. I've been working on other projects where it's like all the extra stuff that you can do, not just going gym, of course, because obviously that's important, but like sleep. Like, sleep is the most important thing for recovering from gym, and then also recovering from any type of like mental activity that you do, right? Like, if you look at anybody who does well in school, they always have a good amount of sleep. They have a good sleep schedule, right? And the exact same thing goes for anyone who does any type of intense mental activity. And Fortnite, I would say, is quite intense mentally.
What I don't understand is how they go to bed at 5 a.m. and get up and play half decent. Like, genuinely, if I am slightly, even the slightest bit tired, I play horrendously. Like, I'm sloppy.
Yeah. But the thing is,
wobbly.
they go to bed at 5 a.m. and they still sleep like 10 hours. They get such good, even though their schedule's not good and all this other stuff's not good, the quality of their sleep is still really good.
Yeah, fair.
And it's all about deep REM sleep.
Yeah, rapid eye movement.
But obviously it's not ideal. I would say for the ideal person who's just like watching this now, wants to see about Fortnite, you should be still doing all these extra things. You should have a consistent schedule. You should be waking up in the AM, seeing sunlight. Doing all that extra stuff. And then just get cracking with it.
Yeah, it's genuinely such a shame that there's not more of a positive force in the community for working out and getting a good sleep schedule. But I think that none of these kids actually care. Do you know what I mean?
They don't. Why would they care?
Yeah, they don't care about showering. They don't care about brushing their teeth.
It's only when they get to like 17, 18, 19 range where they're done with school, which obviously a lot of people are still in school and playing at a decent level, Yeah. It's only when they get to that range and they start realizing there's more to life than playing Fortnite, right?
Yeah. And especially the ones who have made some bread when you actually kind of set up.
When they're sitting there beamed out their eyes, you know what I mean? With like sitting there with 250k in the bank account, and they're like, do I really want to do this for the next 3 years when they could go off and get a girlfriend and enjoy life and live life a bit more? But I do think that 100% has to be some more gym stuff in the beginning, because it just seems like when somebody quits Fortnite, there's always a list of people that quit Fortnite. They go, oh, why are you guys wasting your time playing Fortnite? That's classic. Then they say they whack a gym progress picture on the timeline, right? They just start a bashing gym, you lot are losers, And then they get into like stocks and stuff like that, or cryptos and stuff, It's always the same stuff. But why don't people do the gym and do the healthy stuff while playing Fortnite? And just perform. I don't know.
Yeah, it's a difficult one, isn't it? I think it's because the kids are lazy and they just want to game all day. I don't I know.
Yeah.
Coming on to Fortnite competitive now. Vino obviously won a cash cup. He won $500. Why are they changing
Yeah.
the prize pools? What's going on? Are you scared for the future?
Have you ever heard that thing where somebody who's like the abuser in a relationship, like let's say a financial abuser in a relationship, right? Um, you know what I mean? Like the stereotypical example of somebody like a man controlling his girlfriend's money and stuff like that. You
Yeah.
know, they'll go ahead and they'll give them loads to begin with, right? And then they'll go ahead and slowly like half it, right? And then they go, oh, why have you halved it? And they'll give them a little bit more. They'll give them a winter royale, right? Then they'll go ahead and lower it loads, and then the other one, maybe they'll deal with it, but they'll probably ask for more, and you give them a little bit of a bump up, and then you bring it down to the same level again, and they're just slowly bringing it down over time because they know there's a solo cash cup for $100. People play a solo cash cup. Why would they not pay a duo cash cup for $100?
Do you
know what I mean?
Do you think there's one day they'll remove money from all of the main competitions, except FNCS? Can you see that being a reality?
Maybe. Thing is, they like having the like winning money aspect, and I do like the solos, like the fact that anyone can get money, from the top. I like this. I personally like the format last season more than this season because it was 3-hour finals.
Yeah.
To win one game, but I mean this season it's all on one day. Still, anyone can get money. You should put some work in, you can get money. Which I think is it's very healthy for the game's like ecosystem.
Yeah.
Having beginner players or people that come back into the game, they can make money and they can get their like foot in the door with getting a better duo, getting a better teammate, making some progress. Yeah. I do think it's healthy, but I mean,
what do you think about
for finals having no money? I don't know.
Well, that'd be boring, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
I mean,
no one would care.
Yeah. Do you remember the days when to win a cash cup you had to come first in open? So that's crazy, isn't it?
Yeah.
Thinking about this change they've made, the money, the solo victory cups. Do you think Fortnite is popular at the moment in competitive Fortnite? What compared to like a few seasons ago or compared to last year?
Not really. I think it's like it's just very slowly been on the decline the past year because it's hard to get someone into comp Fortnite. Even with these $100, fairly easily open accessible solo tournaments in our top 7.5k. The reason they do those things is to get more people in the door and interested in comp. But for somebody who's just like, let's say you started playing Fortnite 6 months ago, how long do you think you'd have to play the game to get to the point where you can make money? This is a long time.
It depends how much you play.
No guidance.
Yeah, it depends. No. Like you can do it in 6 months if you have the right friends, the right materials, the masterclass, and you play for 10 hours a day. But reality, I understand that it's such a different competitive.
And that's why they're getting into zero build more. Like, that's the reason.
Accessible, yeah.
The thing is, like with comp, no one watches it. There's no big streamers really, apart from clicks maybe. There's no big EU streamers. There's like 80k people watching FNCS finals. There used to be 500k watching because all of the non-comp audience would go ahead and watch it for the big names. Now those big names have been replaced by like some Russian 15-year-old with like 1k followers. No offense to the Russian 15-year-old with 1k followers, but I don't even know. You make just an example. Like they've been replaced by the people that have been grinding more and outworked the older people.
And so there's no big social people in big social media people in the finals. Yeah.
And even the big social people don't want to stream an FNCS finals because they'll just get landed on or something. Like that's just how the game is. Which is why they're doing zero build now. It's why all of the dream hacks this year are zero build. Everyone's complaining, but when there was a build land on last year that we went to, that Venno got 7th in or whatever, no one cares.
Yeah.
Do they? Who actually cares about a build land? Maybe the first place person might get a little bump in followers, but I'm pretty sure like Reason got 3rd or something and he got like 1k likes on a tweet. Literally nobody cares because
it's a very weird one. I think what Fortnite need to do is obviously making comp more accessible. But you know how in Valorant, like, everyone is streaming the viewing parties and everyone's watching the game.
That's because there's a ranked mode. In that game, people play a ranked mode. In this game, you either play unranked, which is pubs, or you play unranked zero build, which is pubs, or you play arena, which is random with everyone.
Yeah.
And of course, there's divisions, but it's not ranked. There's
I
no way
guess,
anyone thinks
mate,
arenas are ranked.
a ranked mode could be a really good way to get more people into comp.
Yeah,
Because
you know the player counts got leaked the other day. Like you could see the player counts.
yeah,
Right. Battle Royale had 400k, which is an insane amount. Just playing pubs. You know, no ranked at all. Though all those 400k people are not watching a tournament because there's only 80k people watching a tournament. You know how many? Guess how many people were playing arena?
it was 80,000, wasn't it? Was it 80,000?
80,000.
Yeah.
Yeah. All
That's
the
still a
80,000
lot.
people that play arena. It is a lot, to be fair, but it's.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's no interest
You
in
imagine,
it. 80k people.
you imagine if there's a ranked mode, you can see who's in the top rank, you know, and like if you and the boys are getting on and you're obviously just starting at the bottom of the ladder, you're playing easy games, trying to rank up. That'd be so much fun, and then you'd be like, oh, the top rank, they're competing this weekend. Let's watch it. I think that'd be a great way to build.
Hey, what if hypothetically they just scrapped duos off? They just scrapped duo cash cups off because it's $100. Who cares? I don't care about $500 first place, $45 an OCE gets 100. No one cares, right? Combine arena and just battle royale. I know they'll never do this, right? They combine all of that into one big Fortnite ranked mode, right? And it allows people to still be in low elo and still be competing and trying to gain up. So you get those people at the bottom interested in comp. You give them, instead of having a battle pass where you pay or whatever, you give them extra rewards for ranking up and doing better and being in the top X% of players or whatever, right? And then, of course, the people who are good at the game and play arena, they'll go ahead and queue into that and then immediately just climb up the elo, right? And then instead of having 80k people playing arena, 400k people playing battle royale, you have it mixed and you have 500k people almost, right?
Playing this Fortnite ladder.
Playing comp, playing ranked. That's literally what every other game. CSGO, mate, you queue up and silver lobbies are pubs, right? And then, you know, as you get higher into ranks, you get.
Can you imagine? And because I don't feel like there's space right now for a superstar to come out in Fortnite and blow up on their socials, you know?
No one's blowing up.
But I think like that was a brilliant idea. I don't know how.
You know Pixie, right?
Yeah.
Last season alone, right? In one season, this little random Swedish 15-year-old, really nice kid, right? He won 2 solo cash cups, dominated them, did really well in the opens, got multiple top 5s in cash cups, and got 5th in FNCS, right? In his first ever grand finals, his first ever finals, by the way, he got 5th. No one gives a fuck. Why? Why does no one care? He's such a good player. There's no breakout potential because there's only 80k people watching the tourneys, and there's only 80 people.
And I'm looking at. I can't even find his Twitter. What's his Twitter? Pixie.
There's just no potential for someone to blow up now. Pixie FNBR.
Yeah.
14k followers. You know.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like
just a ranked mode. People have been asking for it since 2019. Yeah, but at least we have build and edit sense changes. Which I don't think anyone has used those changes.
Yeah. Also, Zero Build had 240k. So Zero Build is already 4 times as popular as Arena.
Yeah.
Which is quite mad because that only came out a year ago. Which is why would they host a LAN for the 80k people playing Arena when they can host a LAN for the 240k people playing Zero Build? And it maybe should get more viewers because, you know.
Yeah.
But again, I don't think those 240k people playing Zero Build are going to watch the tournament.
No, probably not.
They're not going to watch. I mean, also the San Diego tournament was on this weekend, and the Twitch number was actually down. It was like 70k people during the finals. Yeah.
You know, Fortnite were advertising the Rocket League finals on their game. Like, you go onto Fortnite and it says, go watch Rocket League or whatever the competition was on the weekend that DreamHack Dallas was. I think Fortnite should step up and do a lot more for promoting the comp scene. When you load into the game, you know, like there should be a leaderboard of, you know, top 10 duos in the thing.
Oh, look who placed, you know. Look who won the solo cash cup. Go check out. I don't know, like
just anything.
Imagine that.
Just a bit of you know, encouragement. Yeah. If there are any questions in the chat, just drop them through. Obviously, DJ's had to go for a second. Mate, I would say that listening to DJ speak is really interesting because he's been on the scene for literally the entire time. And he's literally worked with every pro player. And it's great to hear his
Anyone
insight.
in chat got any questions or not?
DJ, talk to them about your competitive career. 25th. Uh, what did we
25th, yeah, 25th in Grand Royale with Archie boys. That's
Yeah.
Archie's best placement and mine, to be fair.
Uh,
What else did we do? Back in World Cup, first earnings World Cup warm up. Then we had the old actual World Cup. I got 42nd twice. Got top 100. In the old, what was it? Solos. I used to be good at solo. I used to be really good at solos. Then what else do we have? And then after that, I sort of quit. I still played like a bit of tournaments, and then just got into coaching. Did one season of one World Cup. Then I did True FNCS. Worked to first place in True FNCS, and then like third and fifth and stuff like that. And then FaZe picked me up for a few seasons. Yeah, my dog griefed me. My dog ate through my internet cable. My puppy.
in what FNCS?
No, in World Cup. I had to play. I had to literally play a World Cup week at my gym. By the way.
At your gym?
Yeah, I used to have a gym in Folkestone. Right, I didn't know that. It's near Dover, and I literally had to play a World Cup week from a gym on the world's worst internet because my dog chewed through the cable. Couldn't believe it. Anyway, also my dog had puppies mid World Cup week. That was a bit peak as well. So my dog had puppies, which made me stay up all night, like having them overnight. I got like 60th in the opens, and I had to stay up all night helping my dog give birth and all that. And then I no sleep. I had to play the next day. It was a bit raps. And then the puppies that were eventually born and griefed me the first week chewed through my cable. So it's not ideal.
But to wrap up this episode, what advice would you give to someone looking to go pro with all the knowledge you have?
I think the most important thing is honestly, I don't expect you to say masterclass over, but is going to be a friend group. Like, just look at the people in this friend group compared to other friend groups, especially UK ones. Not going to name any names. But a friend group where people play the game and they're motivated and they make each other put in the work is very important. It's so important. Just like putting in the extra hours, like being up early and all that. Yeah.
Alright, there you go. You can find DJ or twitter.com/DestinysJesus or DestinysJesus on YouTube. Thank you very much for doing the podcast today, and we're out.